Hey, what's going on, guys? Right back at it. And I want to talk to you about, does money make sense? So, appreciate everyone being in the group. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you liking. Appreciate, especially those who this week were inviting their friends and family. It's always helpful. Definitely trying to help as many people connect with their money, get some traction, create that opportunity of freedom for themselves. If you haven't already, please take a moment, like the video. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you had the opportunity, if you're in the Money Talks group, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and help keep the support going as much as possible. It really helps me out on these platforms as I'm still navigating my way through. So a lot of things that I've seen and come to know, and some of the stuff is from experience. From some of the stuff is just dealing with a lot of working with a lot of people one on one, and also just in my career. And one of the things that I've always had the blessing of seeing is because I read so much about the data and statistics about the U.S. Hey, it's hard for somebody to come up with put their hands on 400, and 8 out of 10 people living paycheck to paycheck. And then when you're working in the bank and you see all these different ranges of income, it really starts to kind of make sense a little bit, but you still have that question like, why does somebody who you would think makes 100 grand a year still can't save no more than the person who makes 30, 40, 50,000 dollars a year? The person who makes 30, 40, 50,000 dollars may not have any large debts impacting their way, and the person who makes 100 some thousand a year, they may not, even if they didn't have a lot of debt, they have a lot of payments, or they just have more financial responsibilities that you just wouldn't expect. And it's kind of interesting because the social media piece really plays in because you start to make assumptions based off what you see. If you see someone eating out a lot, if you see somebody traveling, if you see someone buy a new car, if you see somebody open up a business, if you see someone buy a house, all these different things trigger uh, the idea that, hey, obviously they're doing better. Obviously they can afford, or that's showing some success. And the fact is, most business owners, when they strike out, aren't really taking over like that. There are very few people who transition from their role and their business is already perpetual to kind of congruent to what they're already making, and then they just kind of go up from there. Or if like me, you've really gotten into YouTube content, you'll see these people with a lot of subscribers. You'll see these people who are making buying cars and doing all this, but and it looks like a lot. Like you would seemingly 100,000 subscribers. They get a lot of views consistently on their videos. They got sponsorships, all that type of stuff. But then when they do something about their income, or they start to be transparent about their situation, you quickly find out that, yeah, they make a lot of money now, but they also have a lot of debt, or they paid a lot of debt, or I'm sorry, they made a lot of debt in either the process of getting to that success, or just legacy debt that they made just bad decisions. So you see them buy their car, you're like, yeah, they seemingly have the money, but why aren't they able to make the financial traction? And the weird part about how we start to make decisions, is a lot about based off what we see. It's what our perception is. I know for me, it paying me. My wife had gotten me a great birthday gift. She bought me a Louis Vuitton wallet years ago, and I really like that wallet. And for me, it wasn't. It was my old wallet was kind of falling apart, but it bothered me that I'm like, I don't even have a couple $100 in this wallet at the time, but I'm carrying around a wallet that seemingly costs a few $100. Has I'm carrying around something that costs more than the money I actually have in my pocket right now. And that was one of the things that I sat there and looked at. And the more you read this stuff and the more you start to look at what's going on, you realize it's not that people don't want to make the right decision. Number one, it's hard to understand what the right decision is in this financial realm. And because we work so hard and because there are so many things, so many steps you actually take, it's hard to oftentimes resist it when, yeah, it definitely feels good and it feels right and it gives you that kind of dopamine that you can kind of digest. Well, the thing about your money is it can reward you for the positive things you do with it. And it can reward you so much to the point that even if you decide to do bad decisions, have bad habits, maybe you eat out a lot or whatever, you can make so many good decisions that that seemingly bad decision won't matter. And it all comes down to, can you set appropriate limits and can you recognize where you're at? Can you block out everything around you to actually say, hey, I mean, some people are investing in crypto. Some people are investing in Forex. Some people are investing in stocks. Some people are investing in mutual funds, ETFs, index funds. Whatever the case may be, this is what I found works for me, and this is the plan I'm going to run, and this is how I'm going to go. And oftentimes, when you read these millionaire books, and if you talk to people who have attained a certain level of wealth, they are very unbothered by what their peers are doing. They look and they look for opportunities where they can learn, but they don't get into the comparison of this is um, I'm not doing as well as this person. No, they stay in their lane and they're very specific about their plan and they stand on it. And they are very realistic that some people, I've talked to certain millionaires that say, yeah, I could have made more wealth, but I decided I wanted to do this. I knew what I was giving up. And I would challenge you at this point. There's a lot with money that even though 1 plus 1 equals 2, it doesn't seem like that always adds up. And the reason why I try to give you guys things and resources and information because I want you to really, really self assess if things are supposed to be going right. If your plan is right, why doesn't your plan produce all the things that it should? And the funny thing about money and the funny thing about our economy is if your plan is right, it will do a lot more for you a lot easier. Meaning you'll be able to do and handle expenses. It doesn't give you doing right with your money doesn't escape the challenges of life. It doesn't stop the things that has to happen. It doesn't stop hospital emergency or accident. What it does is it doesn't allow those things to come into your life and disrupt what you're trying to do that you find fulfillment in. I tell you this as somebody who's going through it, has been through it, as somebody who's continually trying to grow forward, that when you have a good control over your money, you from a financial stability standpoint, there's a lot of things that won't disrupt you. COVID won't disrupt you. Your job that you don't like doesn't disrupt you. You start to now focus your energy on, hey, I don't have to take this. I'm doing things because I choose to do them, not because I have to do them. And then one of the things that got me started on this, and the whole time was I all was broke. I had no money. It's very difficult to date when you have no money, and that's where I obviously if you guys have followed me, I'm married. But when I began dating my wife, a lot of people, and we tell this story all the time, was when I bought her a drink, I could only afford that one drink, her drink, which she to this day she got Ciroc. Um, I forget what she mixed it with, but I got a vodka and orange juice. At that time, that was just my thing. But I got a vodka and orange juice because that meant I got rail, and that was my last 20. I didn't even have enough gas. That was really my gas money for it. But I kid you not, that was my literal last 20 till I got paid, and I didn't like where this was going. And obviously she well worth more than just the drink, but we had just met. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to court, so to speak. And one of the things that I realized was I could only afford one drink. So I had to make this deal happen, meaning her number, very quickly. The point I'm saying is it caused me to be a lot focused. And even though at that time I thought I knew it all, but it did, when I left that scenario, I did start to question, how is everybody doing better? How are all my peers doing better than me in their careers? They're making more money. How are they progressing in their careers? They must work differently than me. How are they able to afford the travel, the lifestyle choices, all these different things? There must be something they're doing in managing their money that affords them the opportunity to get these things without it being so financially damaging. How are they able to accomplish the new cars and all? I was asking so many different questions, and what I was doing was I was starting to figure out that I don't know. And what I want you guys to understand is, just like I didn't know, the fact is, if you can get to the point where you're like, man, I know I need to make a change in my job, but I just don't know. I don't know how to do that. How can I get started? One thing is, if you know somebody that's doing well in their job, it's not that they're going to fix your problem. They're going to ask questions that you don't necessarily know to ask. And if they can get you on the path to start thinking, then that can open up your options. The second thing is, you may know you have a valuable skill set. You may not know the language by which to communicate it. You may not know where to put that skill set to get the best value. These are things you don't know. You may not know about the other opportunities that could change your income by 20, $30,000. These are things that I learned in not only navigating my career, but helping others in the financial realm. And get granted, I was afforded the opportunity to work in a financial institution, so I get every single walk of life, and that was part of our financial conversation. How did you get your job? What did you do? Where did you go? All those constantly. So that's where I get all that. I don't know the answer for what's going to be your specific problem, but I do know enough to ask the right question to help get you there. And if I don't know, I know a place where you could probably go start to get the answer. Either way, that puts you in a better spot than, hey, I don't know how to fix this issue. I know I need to fix this issue. I know I need to get a better career, but how am I going to get there? The same thing with your money. I know a lot about money to make a good decision, but there's a lot about money I just don't know. But I know, again, how to get you that answer that you may particularly need if you have that interest. And that's what I try to do throughout the group. I don't try to tell you and force you to my way of thinking. I want you to look at all your investment options. Look at cryptocurrency. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Dogecoin. Look at Forex. Look at individual stocks. Look at mutual funds, ETFs. Learn how each of them work. Learn why they work the way they do. Why is Bitcoin so volatile? Why do individual stocks go up? What? How do I kind of get a sense of, to make an educated guess about a stock rather than, oh, I just like buying the products that's on this thing. There's another way that's strategic and that's proper to help you think critically about whether or not that's something you want to invest your money in. The same way for any business or real estate. There are a lot of different ways you can invest in real estate rather than the traditional, you buy a house and flip it, buy a house and rent it out, Airbnb. There are so many different ways you can make money in real estate, but you have to figure out what's going to work for you and your risk appetite and what you feel comfortable doing. And if you can do that, when you mesh with your profile, your comfort level with the correct investment strategy, that's where your wealth begins to take off because you'll feel comfortable going all in. That's why it's important that you have this discussion. It's important that you look at where you are right now and then say, hey, a lot of people lose jobs. A lot of businesses fail. A lot of people have down months. several. Last year, I was out of work 7 months. No one really could know the difference. And to be quite honest, I actually made more money last year being out of work 7 months than I did the year prior. Funny how that happens. So, my thing for you is we, when I say we, Money Talks, myself, my wife, all who I can support, the whole point is to get you to grow forward. And it may seem, I want you to move past the point of having money in my, I have money if I have money left over after I pay my bills from my paycheck. No, you don't have money. You don't have money if you've been making decent money, if you've been making an income and you have no savings. You don't have money if you sell everything and there's not a surplus of equity somewhere, meaning your net worth. If you take your debt, minus your cash, your vehicles, your house, your 401k, all that, and if that's not a positive number, you don't have any money. If you can't go put your hands on 5,000, 10,000, two, $300. You don't have any money. If $1,000 sinks you and sets you back, you don't have any money. You need to really reevaluate what's going on financially for yourself because more is going to come at you. And the last thing you want to do is be unprepared for when expenses, aka life, comes at you. So that was me kind of being on the the soapbox, but it's really important. I want you to understand that you can make and you can thrive financially no matter what the obstacles are. But there's no way, honestly, there's really no way that you're going to be able to do it based off your own thinking, tribal knowledge type way. Because how is that going to help you navigate a tax code that you've never actually read? How is your tribal knowledge and what you think, common sense and your ability to think critically, how is that going to help you get to 100K, 150K when you don't even know the language and things that level is looking for? Not just from a job, but just the magnitude of making that type of money. There's a level of thinking and communication and language and skill that you need to be able to perform at that level. The other thing is you have to understand the things that may draw out of your life and change your life to where maybe that's not what you want to do. Some people, maybe you're very happy and you're thriving making 50, $60,000 a year because of the lifestyle and comfort you have in that, and you're like, hey, I don't really want to deal with all that, and that's fine. But just because you make 50, 60, $70,000 a year for whatever you make doesn't mean you cannot unmask a level of wealth that helps you navigate your present life, enhance your present life, enjoy your present life, while also creating opportunity for you, your family, your kids' future. Guys, you can reach out to me. I'll walk you through whatever I can do. I will not turn down. And I would even venture to say most people who speak to me find value in the conversation. I encourage you to leave a comment. I encourage you to reach out, but don't lean into your own understanding. You got yourself a degree. That's great. You got yourself that first job. But what's going to take you to that next level? Not just the fact of your own mistakes. It's really the fact of can you connect with others who've already been where you're trying to go. You can learn from their mistakes and you can do it a lot more streamlined. You can realize what's going to happen and you can be present and be aware of the opportunities of how you do it. Each of you have something valuable to give, and that's what is going to be your money maker going forward. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you're on YouTube, invite your friends to the Money Talks group on Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're really trying to make things happy and fortunate and get you the information you need and meet you right where you are so that you can control your money through your budget, manage to pay off your debt, all on the path to put you to save and build wealth so you can enjoy your life. Until next time, you guys, I'll talk to you soon.